Alright gang, welcome to Hansen Speed Shop for another cool custom Hot Wheels build. Today, we're doing a 32 Ford sedan delivery. I found this thing quite a while ago. I don't remember if I found this at like a flea market or a thrift store. But either way, this particular version I think came out like in the late 90s. With this paint job, and then judging by these like tri-blade wheels, that's probably about when this came out. It's kind of in beat up shape, but the plans are I want to do this thing in kind of a, it's going to be like a 60s style gasser, but done up as like a 60s show car. So I want the thing real nice and super classy looking. I got the thing already torn apart, so we'll take a look at what all comes in this car. As you can see, we've got our glass in here, and then this separate piece for the grille and headlights. At first I was kind of, for the look of the car, I was thinking that this piece right here would look better if it was, one with a chrome one. But then I started thinking I might do one of two things. I might just get rid of these headlights altogether and then mount them in a different location, or just paint this all body color and then just do the grille like a silver or something. So we do have some options there. Here's our interior piece with molded in fenders. We are gonna run the fenders. There's no clips on this chassis to hold the axles in, which is really nice. Saves time for guys like me that are tearing these things apart. You don't gotta snip off those annoying little prongs to get the axles out. Last look at those before they go in the garbage. The idea on the chassis is we're gonna cut the front bumper completely off, and then we're gonna cut the rear bumper off also, and then just kind of try to round that in to the back roll pan here. The fenders and the body are going to get painted the same color. I think for right now what I want to do as far as color wise, I want to do a nice light kind of metallic blue color, just kind of with like a nice white interior, and then I think that'll look really nice with some chrome wheels. Just real classy kind of 60s show car look to it. So this thing should be pretty cool. I've never built one of these into a gasser before. I've been wanting to do it for quite a while. I have tons of ideas for stuff I want to do. Always doing like about half a dozen cars at any given time. So sometimes stuff just like I have an idea for something, but I've got like 20 cars that I want to do before that, and it just takes a while, but eventually I do get to everything. So this thing should be pretty cool. The next step will be to strip the body, and then I'm going to cut the bumpers off and then kind of start fitting the new, because we'll have to do a straight axle up front, and then hopefully I can get the slicks to fit out back. I might have to do a little modifying on the fenders and stuff, but so that'll be next, just kind of doing some fitment, stripping the body and cutting the fenders off, and then once we kind of get to that stage, we'll go from there. All right guys, so I got the thing stripped, and I've already started to do a little bit of work to it, mainly on the chassis. As you can see, we cut off the front bumper and the rear bumper, and then I started to just kind of blend this in. I just kind of clean that up a little bit, and then I kind of been trying to shape the front here just to look like the stock 32 front frame rails, because this was just a straight piece like where the bumper mounted on. So I'm just kind of trying to get it to look more like the stock front on a 32 Ford. The idea I'm thinking on the body is going to be, we're going to leave the hood top and the grill shell, and then I'm going to cut the hood sides off, and then I'll also have to cut this post off here, and then I'm gonna fit some kind of an engine in here. So that should be pretty cool. That's where we're at right now. Once we make a little bit more progress, we'll take another look. Alright guys, so we made quite a bit of progress on our 32 sedan delivery that we're building into a kind of 60 show car-ish gasser. Starting with the body, cut off the sides of the hood, and that turned out really nice. I took this engine out of the 55 Chevy gasser from Hot Wheels, and then that was more than a pain in the butt to get into this thing and get it fitted right. Basically, I kind of trimmed out the fenders, and then have the exhaust coming through the bottom of the fenders. We really had to shoehorn this thing in here to get it to fit. Had to really trim the thing out just right, but that came out super nice. I'm really happy with how well I got it to fit in there. Here's a look at, I cut out the sides of the hood, and then we had to cut out that post that came down right there, and then trimmed out the back of the grill shell. And that all fits really nice now. Got all the body works basically done on the car. I gotta clean up the tops of the fenders yet, but otherwise that's basically done. Then on the chassis, we had to cut the front and rear bumpers off. I kind of reshaped the front of the frame here. I still need to make a straight axle up front. I just kind of have this mocked up, but I made an axle for the rear, and then had to channel out for clearance. And then I had to make a little plastic piece here as just kind of a filler piece to make up the gap in between this gas tank here and the rear of the frame. I think it's just because I cut the bumper off, it's kind of fitting a little weird, but with that on there, it's perfectly fine. I should have perfect clearance for the tires. I shouldn't have to do anything on the rear fenders. As you can see, the car sits awesome. It's looking super cool. Really all that's left to do at this point, just finish cleaning up the plastic fenders. I'll go over the body once more, make sure everything's perfect. Then we can paint everything, get everything detailed, and I gotta finish the straight axle up front. So this will be the last time you'll see the car until the final unveil. We'll check this thing out. It's going to be super sweet. I know you guys are going to dig it. So we'll see you at the final unveil. Alright gang, this is our 32 Ford sedan delivery that we did up into a 60 style show car gasser. A lot of work went into this thing, but I'm super proud of it. It came out really nice. Probably one of the nicest customs I've done in a really long time. Just really classy looking, and it came out just like the car that I had in my head when I started this whole project. So we'll kind of go over everything that I did on the car and just take a little bit closer look to it. The first thing that I wanted to do was to get rid of the sides of the hood, and then we were going to stuff a big blown engine into this car. So I cut off the sides of the hood, and then we sourced the engine out of a 55 Chevy gasser from Hot Wheels, and then kind of shoehorn that in. We'll take a look a little bit closer at that in just a minute. I kind of had to cut the hole in the fenders to get the headers to run through. I detailed out the engine in a gloss white, and then I detailed the firewall in a satin white. And then the rest of the engine, like the headers, valve covers, blower, and everything was left chrome. And then I obviously detailed out the blower belt in black. The only two body modifications that I had to do on the car was cutting the hood sides off and the holes in the fenders. Otherwise, everything else is basically the way it came from Hot Wheels. I wanted this car to have a nice kind of 60s show car look to it, so I went with a light metallic blue over a pearl white base, And then I did the vinyl top on the car in a satin white, just to really make that pop. I think it looks really nice. I detailed the interior out in a matching satin white as well. So I kind of brought the white from the top into the interior and then also on the firewall. Detailed out the front headlights and in the matching body color, and then detailed out the grille into a chrome, and then the headlights themselves are detailed. We're running the Hot Wheels rear rider wheels, which are found on a lot of Hot Wheels gassers. They're my favorite wheel to do on a gasser. I think they just have a really nice kind of 60s style look to them. They're proportioned really nice. Those are my favorites. Whenever I can use them on a gasser, if I can have an extra set of them, that's what I like to use, especially if it's a real nice high-end build like this car was. We'll take a look at kind of the front of the car. We gave this thing it had front rear bumpers on the chassis. We removed those, and then I cut the front of the frame out just to look kind of more like stock frame rails on a 32 Ford. And then I had to give this thing a straight axle up front to get it to sit the way I wanted it to and give it that super cool gasser stance, which is another thing that I'm really happy about on this car. It sits awesome. And it rolls really nice. I didn't have to do any trimming on the back fenders to get the tires to fit or anything, so everything worked out really nice there. Kind of looking and seeing how I cut out for the fender well headers. On the back of the car, the only thing I really detailed out was the door handle on the back door. Everything else is just body color, but it's just such a nice, really classy looking car, and it's just really awesome when you have a picture of the car in your head and you're going through this whole build process and you're not really sure if it's going to come out like what you envisioned at the beginning, and then to see the final finished product and have it like exactly what you thought, maybe even a little bit better. That's awesome. We'll take a look underneath the car now. I did the whole frame out and chassis and everything, matching body color, and then everything else, like the oil pan and some of the suspension parts, rear end, gas tank, was done up in chrome. Just really nice, clean, simple, but kind of show car looking also. So that is the 32 sedan delivery 60 show car gasser. I hope you guys dig this one because I am really happy with it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Comment below, let me know what your favorite thing is on the car, or what you liked best that I did to it. If you like this build, there's more to come, and I also have a ton of other cool custom Hot Wheels videos and a bunch of other neat stuff on the channel if you want to head over there and check that out. If you like any of the stuff that we're doing here, if you haven't already, highly recommend subscribing so you can stay up to date on all this neat stuff we're doing here. I like to do a lot of original stuff and a lot of stuff that's maybe a little bit different than a lot of other people do. Mainly a lot of stuff that's kind of in the 50s, 60s, 70s era of hot rods, gassers, drag cars, muscle cars, customs, hot rod type vehicles. So stay tuned for more stuff. Stick around for some more pictures of the car. Otherwise, as always, get out, work on your own projects, get your hands dirty, stay cool, and we'll catch you cats on the next one. Thanks for watching.